Hello everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to discuss about AI in mining and metals, and more generally speaking, heavy industries. It's not every day that we hear about this industry, so I'm very happy to present what we do at Eramet on this topic. So, before doing Eramet, I worked in aerospace engineering, in strategy consulting, in cosmetics. And I started at Eramet a few years ago to develop all the data analytics, AI, data governance, data management initiatives. So today I'm going to present what we do, give a very general overview of the use cases that we have in our industry. And I hope you will learn a bit from that. So first, a few words about Eramet, because I'm sure most of you don't know much about the company. So we are one of the main stakeholders of the energy transition. As you probably know, we are moving from an era of fossil fuels, oil, gas, and coal, to an era of electricity. And to do so, you need batteries. In these batteries, there are metals, critical metals, such as lithium, cobalt, manganese, nickel, which are all the metals that Eramet produces. So you see all the forecasts in terms of electricity, electric vehicles, and all the metals that will need to occur, to happen, to make that transition happen is quite huge, quite impressive. And Eramet is really positioning itself to be one of the main stakeholders of this revolution. 5 billion euros revenues, 10,000 employees in 15 countries, and almost 20 industrial sites, both mines and plants. So yeah, we are present in France, of course, in Norway for transformation of manganese alloys, in Africa for the extraction and transformation of manganese, Senegal for mineral sands, North America for production of manganese alloys, Argentina soon for the production of lithium, and then Asia, Oceania with our mines of nickels in Indonesia and New Caledonia. So a very global company with operation all over the world in complementary commodities. So a strategic vision, I'm not going to elaborate on that. You have nice videos that you can see on our YouTube channel. We want to provide the metal for the energy transition. I talked about that already, but we want to do that with the best, with the lowest impact on the environment and on the local communities we operate with, we work with. So we have just released a new strategy on ESG, environmental and climate and social responsibility. It's called Act for Positive Mining, with very ambitious targets in terms of CO2 emission reductions and contribution to the economic development of the countries we operate in. So please have a look to have more information. Within that, AI is one of the elements, not the only one, that drives this transformation of the company toward this more efficient, smarter, global company. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to present a very broad overview of the project we do in the different parts of the business. First, mining, that's still our main activity. It might be difficult to read everything, but we have a lot of projects that are AI, but also digital. Some of these projects are also even IoTs. But for instance, on our mine, we use drones. They fly over the mine regularly, every week, often. And we use the images taken by these drones to detect objects of interest around the mine. So plants, trees, villages, wells, fields that we have to work with when we develop the mine. We also estimate automatically the level of inventory on our mines thanks to photogrammetry on drones. AI also is very good to estimate and predict the state of our mining equipment. You can imagine that the dumpers, the big trucks that operate on our mines are very costly and complex equipment. When they fail, it's costly. It leads to production shortages, and that's not good for the business. So by putting sensors on these machines, learning trends from the past data, we can predict what's going to happen and do predictive maintenance on them. We also use AI to better coordinate the fleet of this equipment. So you always want to have an excavator at the right place and just one truck to get the ore from it. You don't want to have an excavator without a dumper or with two dumpers, because that's a waste of time. So we want to optimize this all the time. We also have new AI techniques to predict better what is in the ground. We have had surveys from our geologists for decades, and we complement that with new data to have a better estimation of the structure of the underground and have a better knowledge of our assets. Also, we do geotechnical monitoring. We have our slopes or our train systems. They are sometimes on unstable grounds, so we can have landslides, especially because we operate in countries with a lot of rain. So to predict the movement, the motion of the ground, we can use satellite imagery to detect millimeters of movement of this landslide and avoid a potential problem. So that's some of the cases we used on mining. Examples, more detail. You see what I was saying. Thanks to the images from the drone, we can automatically detect point of interest on the mine and better manage it. We put that on a geographical information system to be able to share this information and manage it also properly. Mining performance, very, very important. That's actually the title of this presentation. We use this data from the drones to create a digital twin that evolves over time. Thanks to that, we can estimate the inventory, the volume that we have excavated. We also designed the roads better. You can see on the right here. Thanks to the topography that will be computed automatically by AI algorithms on the drone images, we can see if there are spots where the slope is too important, and that will lead to safety issues or to overconsumptions or mining equipment. So thanks to these kind of things, we can automatically detect anomalies on our mines and act accordingly. Another area where AI is very important is supply chain management and transportation systems. We operate a train in Gabon that conveys the mineral ore from our mine in Manda to the port of Libreville. And we have a lot of issues with this train system. So we develop predictive maintenance algorithms of the tracks, of the rails, to anticipate where they might fail. We have a digital twin of our flow of materials through the supply chain. And we have what we call an integrated operation system. So that's some kind of control center, like a control tower on an airport, that gather data from all the steps of the production, put that together, and allow people in real time to have a 360 degrees view of the business and take decision on a more holistic way than what we used to do in the past. Fuel management system also for climate ambitions and for operational performance. We measure the fuel consumed by our trains or by our mining equipment, and we try to optimize in real time the performance of these systems. So example of what I was saying, on the left is a maintenance system for the rail, so you can anticipate at a given time if there is a high probability that a rail will fail at some point of the tracks. So it's very useful to plan maintenance and avoid production disruptions and to enhance safety. And the same on the right, we have a system to enhance the performance of drivers. So you gather data about the speed of the trains, the braking systems, if they use a klaxon when they arrive next to villages, and you use that to have a cooperative assessment of the performance of drivers, and you help them through recommendations to improve their practices. Safety also is very important, and AI has a role. You can see a system here. You have a camera in front of the driver of our trucks. These drivers, they might work at night on long shifts in the middle of the night. So some of them might fall asleep. So you have this camera that will detect point of interest on the face using algorithms that are well known now, and that will trigger alerts. So either make a sound or even tell them to stop and park to take a nap for some minutes on the side of the road. Other systems to detect around these big dumpers some light vehicles or pedestrians. When you're a driver in these trucks, you can't even see what's in front of you 10 meters away. So if you have a light vehicle that parked, or if you have someone who came here to do maintenance operation, you might want to know that. So thanks to the LiDAR technology, all these dumpers, they track everything, all the surroundings, and they will give an alert to the drivers not to start and wait for light vehicles to pass, for instance. So a lot of application of AI also in safety. And in plants, This is something probably more familiar to you, but we have drones that inspect some systems that are not very accessible by people. So in high grounds, for instance, we have systems to predict energy consumption and when we'll need more energy, so we avoid the blackout on the plant. Mobile robots, predictive maintenance on our plant asset also are very, very important. Example of project we have done in the past. You can look at these videos of a prize that we gained for the optimization of metallurgical processes thanks to AI. Maintenance, so you can see thanks to these systems we have sensors in some of our assets on our plant. We can geolocate them and see the trends of this equipment and predict what is going to happen so that we can act accordingly. So therefore our maintenance people have a portal in which they can detect anomalies and plan their work orders accordingly. And then, as I was explaining earlier, when you have data and AI at every step of the system, so the mine, transportation system, and the plant, you can gather all this data, integrate all this information, and take decisions in a smarter way, taking a holistic approach. So that's what we call integration of operation, and that's something that's going to keep us very busy in the next few years, and with a lot of data governance, AI, and digital along the way. So example of these centers in Australia, where the benchmark is, but also in Gabon, in some of our operations in Comilog. So thank you very much. Just a final word to say that AI is not only about technologies. We have heard about that this morning already and in other roundtables. Of course, data and tech is very important, but also people is very important. So be able to find the right project managers on the business, identify the right need, train the people or hire people if we don't have the people internally. And the process is also very important, being able to identify the pain points, how people work, the workflow, identify the business case, and how we can change and improve the process thanks to AI. So thank you very much.